Welcome to Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. I'm your host, James Coleman, where if you're here, you're open to the truth as it can be known, following in new ideas and actions, making for a better way of life. Today I'm going to enter into controversial territory for a lot of people. Some people think there's no controversy about it and it's that all issues are decided and correct on their end. And then those others on the other side are just as fixated. Anyway, the topic for today is LGBQT. If you haven't noticed, the topics have been changing rapidly, I've noticed. Anyway, I've had some conversations where I made some people uncomfortable, I guess, or ruffled feathers, however you're going to say it. And what's interesting is, and this is, I think, typical of many people who hold strong positions, is that, and claim tolerance, right? So holding strong positions and claim tolerance make it basically like you can believe whatever you want as long as you know we're right. And listen, I am open to the truth as it can be known, right? Which means if new information comes in, I take it in and I work to change my position, which changes my action, right? And there's a process for that. So here I'm going to share a little bit about the trigger phrase that set off the fire engines, so to speak. And that phrase was, I'm okay with what you do, just do it over there, right? And it was this do it over there piece that really was like, what? And through the conversation, I understood why they reacted that way. And the essence of why they reacted that way is they see I'll put it this way. The practice of LGBTQT is not a practice, it's a being, right? And that was the big kind of takeaway for me. I saw it as a practice. I saw it as this is what people do. If you want to do that, go over there, right? And they saw it as this is how people are. You just can't be not where you are, right? And I got it. And it definitely opened me up to being more compassionate in my perspective and in how I'm approaching the situation. And the differences of, of opinion, right? And the difficulty. Listen, I don't live in a box, and I understand that the issue can be difficult for people, just as I'm sure the issue, any kind of, culture change is difficult for anybody, regardless of the, subject. Let's just take food, for example. We know sugar is bad. I want to see this culture ban sugar and see what happens, right? We're going to see some people that are leading difficult lives without their sugar for a time, right? So that's what I'm going to share about the LGBTQT conversation I had. I shared the trigger phrase, right? Which was essentially, if I'm okay with what you do, but do it over there. That made people mad because that statement doesn't reflect the being nature of the desire or the orientation. And, for people who are more traditional on their views on this topic, it's not easy. And then there's this kind of expectation that, they should just stop feeling what they're feeling and change, and that it's, the reasons for change are equally or equivalent to reasons for, say, racism. That was the other kind of metaphor analogy that was very strong. It's like it was the anti-LGBTQT was seen the same as racism based upon their seeing it as being. And then I say, listen, there are millions of people who have a difference of opinion, and it's not quite possible. Well, they're not. Some of them are not going to change so easily, and how to deal with that is an interesting topic in of itself. Justice, and listen, I see the parallels, right? But there's some differences that I think are worth noting, right? And some of the differences are in how treatment of people of, I don't really want to, of non-ruling class approved, right? That's one way of saying it. Non-ruling class approved being, right? How they're treated. This is not even close. Okay, that's my big one. But I bring it up to say, listen, this gives you another taste of me as an inner peace artist, but also of what's acceptable. And I was very clear. I want to make this point very clear. I was very clear that there is nothing about the public commons that one should be barred from because of LGBTQT, right? And that statement was essentially ignored. I'll put that out there here. The statement was ignored, and the only thing that was heard was "do that over there." Very interesting. And I'm open. Listen, I've interacted with many people very, very, very different from me, and we get along fine. And I have friends who have relatives, and I have relatives who are in the LGBTQT community. And listen, even I have been infected because I say media-wise, but I'm now using this LGBTQT, an acronym, as opposed to just saying, LGB or the gay and lesbian community, as would have been said years ago, So listen, I can evolve and I can change, and still I like what I like, right? And you can't tell me to stop liking what I like, because that's a different conversation altogether. And making changes to what I like is a different conversation. So that's what I will share on the LGBTQT topic today. Yavarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasam lecha shalom. Have a good day.